Guys, it's Janet here to talk to you about your January 2018 focus. I know we've already been focusing on January and we're only, less than 2 weeks out, but I just wanted to throw some more ideas at you, especially with the busyness of the holidays. We don't want to lose sight of our January business. It's going to be really important that you start strong. One of the biggest things that you're going to want to do is to figure out how to infuse a massive dose of enthusiasm into the actual just launch of the whole day, not just an actual live launch event or a virtual one, but that feeling of excitement and enthusiasm. How can we make that come through into your live events, into your Facebook post, into your blogs, your videos, and all of that? We want to just make this feel like something so big. And nowadays we have social media, which is really going to help with that, okay? A couple of ideas for you around that is that woohoo, congratulations, first order of the day, and maybe it's a random prize, or woohoo, first day was awesome, or I want to welcome our first recruit of the year, or the first smart shopper to take advantage of, or whatever. And so some of those fun shout outs on social media and on your team blog can be a great way to do that. Or join me as I'll stamp all day, or the first card, whatever it is. I mean, just think about how can I make it exciting. And then, the first event, and everybody picked this. This is the hottest celebration pick so far is this one. Or keep track of what's hot with the votes based on people's ordering and things like that. So ask yourself, how can I infuse enthusiasm and fun? Remember, they always say that the ending of enthusiasm, IASM, is I am sold myself. When people can hear that excitement, they feel it, okay? And they want to engage more with you. So hopefully, you've got your spring catalog launch planned, whether it's live, virtual, both. Hopefully, you've already got catalogs in customers' hands, or you're ready, and you have an extra bunch of catalogs because we plan on you meeting lots of new customers during celebration. The same thing with the celebration brochure. Hopefully, that goes right in hand. To me, celebration catalog and spring catalog are one and the same. They go together, and they're all part of that same launch process and mindset. 3 blog hops for you to participate in to get that marketing and that excitement out there, to give you a chance to talk about what you've got going on in your business. January 2nd, the 14th, and the 21st. So check the events tab. The tutorial co-op will launch in January. Again, you make one tutorial, no watermarks of your own personal nature, no contact information. You put it into the co-op, and then you'll have access to all of the other ones placed in the co-op that month to use as free PDF tutorials on your blog, in your newsletter, maybe giveaways in a VIP group, all of those kinds of great ways. I've started saving my tutorials, and now when I get an order, I go back through them to see if I have one that matches and just simply send it in an email saying, thank you for your order. Here's a tutorial featuring that stamp set. It may or may not have all current product. If it's an older one, I'll say some of the product may be retired. Ask me how I can help you substitute with something current, okay? So tutorial co-op launches, definitely look at that. Team engagement. Not only do you want to keep your customers engaged and excited, but for those of you that have a team, regardless of its size, you want to keep them excited, even if it's just you doing all the posting right now. They're looking, they're watching, okay? Remember to share what you're doing with them. So what's your launch, what's your projects, what's your plans, but also what can they be talking about? I did put some graphics in one of the photo albums for you. I personally have a post a day scheduled for my team beginning on Monday, and it will go right up to launch day with different things, either asking them to stamp and share or different things about the catalog, but just getting them talking, leading right up to the launch to kind of get them excited and to keep that excitement high. So you want to build your team up as well. So what can they be talking about related to the new catalog? Least favorite, most favorite, favorite sample, first order, product shares. What are they doing? What questions did they have? What concerns? Get them stamping, share your first sample, share, a brush show attempt, whatever it is, get them stamping and posting that as well. January is a big month for resolutions, okay? Not everybody, but a lot of people make resolutions, things that they're going to decide to do differently, add to, stop doing, all of those kinds of things. One of the things that I like to do is this thing called one word, where I pick one word for my business, and that's kind of my focus for the year, and one word for my life. If you do the one word thing, I encourage you to share that with your customers. It makes you relatable. It's like, oh, I do that too, because you're more than just their Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, okay? You're a person with a life outside of rubber stamping and creativity, and you want them to see that. I want to draw people to me who like to travel, who like champagne, who like to dance, who like to sing, who just love life, who love their family, who have faith. That's important to me. And the only way I'm going to draw people to me like that is by sharing that aspect of myself. So we want to be careful that we're not just all card, 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 stamp, 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 stamp. Okay. So one word or one thing. For me, I also make a decision like what's one thing I'm going to do different in my business. For me, my number one thing that I'm going to be focusing on beginning in January is a return to a more formalized training program for brand new recruits. I had gotten away from it because kind of got a little overwhelmed with all of the different business models and the way to do business, and it just didn't seem like anything was fitting or working anymore. And after much thought and prayer and consideration, I realized that that may not have been such a good choice for my business. And so I will be implementing that once I get it up and running and get it consistent. Of course, I'll be doing training on it. But for right now, that's just my personal one thing, is to return to some kind of a formalized plan for new recruits, regardless of why they joined. That's my one thing. And I'll be sharing that, of course, with my team. So you share things with your customers and with your teams. You want to make sure that you're getting your December customer thank yous out there. So it's a great time to stamp with a new product and introduce them to something new that's a must have. Maybe do brush show on the card. Great time to do a Valentine's card, something like that. Of course, Valentine's is a huge focus for us those first 2 weeks. Such a short selling season, but it's a massive card giving season. You may want to consider, Valentine card classes for kids to make their class Valentines. Maybe you do a husband's class so they can make a handmade card for their wives. How can we get Valentine's cards made and out there? So Valentine should really be a big focus for you. Be a great time to do what I call push weeks, where you do a whole week of a focus. Of Valentine would be a perfect focus to do a 1 week on. Right now, while it's early and we're getting ready to keep that excitement high, you may want to be already looking ahead to April and putting a date on the calendar for a customer and hostess appreciation event. Everybody who earns a celebration item by spending $50, everybody who hosts an event or a personal order, will be invited to this elaborate over-the-top appreciation event in April. You don't have to go into a whole lot of details. You just want to say, save the date. Think Pretty Woman with the big bags in her hands. It's going to be big, big, big. Biggest customer appreciation event of the year. Help me have my best celebration ever, and we will celebrate together. So consider putting that date on the calendar, and then you can start talking it up all during celebration. So great focus for you there, guys. Okay, let's keep going. Some more ideas. Fun marketing possibilities. One of the things I hear a lot of times is, I don't know what to blog about. I don't know what to put on Facebook. And so I will be putting a link in the comment section below. There's all these crazy holidays out there, right? You have Hat Day and Pizza Day and all of those kinds of things. And so I looked ahead to January, and one of the things that I'm going to be doing as I plan my social media calendar is paying attention to those fun theme ideas that are out there, such as there's National Bird Day on January 5th, and I think January 15th is like National Hat Day. Well, Lord knows we've got a bunch of beautiful birds now. I can easily, stamp up some pretty things for National Bird Day. In addition, when I do some of those fun things, that's going to allow me to cross back over to my personal page and say, woohoo, celebrating National Bird Day with some great stamps by Stampin' Up. Just a little plug that's out there. I'm not doing a call to action thing, but I'm just putting it out there and they can see some cute stamps. So watch for those. White sales, I don't know if they're big in Europe or South Pacific, but we do a lot of white sales in the US. And so while I don't encourage you to match white sales, because it's January and winter, can you talk about all of our white products that we have and maybe do a 1 or 2 day focus on everything white and do a white out? Or maybe if it's a snow day, you focus on some snowy white projects. Of course, snow fun and snow days. Look at the season and what's going on around you. Don't forget that you can still also be doing post-holiday thank yous. So looking at that, New Year's resolutions. What resolutions are your customers making that you can help with? Can you help stamp a weight loss tracking sheet? Can you help with their commitment to get birthday cards out in the mail? Of course, we know that answer. Can we help with the commitment just to send other cards by filling that birthday card keeper? So how can we help with our product them fulfill their New Year's resolutions that they might be setting? Martin Luther King is another holiday. The Grammys are happening, and you can be looking ahead to February with the Winter Olympics, and maybe you can consider something fun like, the gold, bronze, and silver kind of level packages. Or I have um, and I don't, but you can say I have a class in February. It's going to be, Olympic size fun. And there's 3 ways that you can register for the event. You can register gold, silver, or bronze. And gold maybe is $150 worth of product waiting for them. And they're going to make all these projects. Maybe the silver, it's a $100 package registration. It includes all the products, and then 50 is this. Thinking outside the box, guys. Okay, talking off the top of my head, unscripted here. Okay, and so, but what can you do around the Winter Olympics? So think about what's going on around you. Look at, things that are happening in media. Look at what's happening, in sports. Of course, we can also be looking forward to the Super Bowl here in the United States with football. What other big sporting events are happening in Europe or South Pacific? Look ahead to those things. The reason being is that when you talk about Super Bowl, you use some of those hashtags, Super Bowl 2017. Maybe you do a stamping bowl and you have some fun. Maybe you do a football widows day if you're not into football. But when you use some of those catchphrases, those hashtags, Grammys, white sales, National Bird Day, you pop up in searches where you might not already always pop up in. In addition, maybe you do a whole blog post around decorating for the Grammys. Throwing Grammy parties and Oscar parties are big deals, and they're fun Pinterest boards out there that you could pin to, or your pins might end up on. So that's part of that whole marketing and social media thing that we want to be looking at every month and looking ahead to what can we be doing. Of course, Valentine's is definitely another one that should be on that list. Of course, you're going to want to make sure if you're using host codes that you have your host code set, that you have a plan for marketing it and getting it out there. You want it out on January 2nd so that the first shoppers on January 3rd have it ready to use if you are using host codes. Again, we mentioned this once before, but for those of you who live in areas prone to inclement weather based around what's happening, in our world, especially here in the United States, up in the Midwest and the Plains and New England and places like that, weather cancellations can be a huge deal. And so you want backup plans. You want cancellation plans. If you're doing large events, you may want to post that cancellation plan right in your registration to save you some time in answering 50 million questions that may come in related to that. My personal cancellation plan is that if I cancel the event because of weather, then I refund. If you personally have to cancel, I don't refund, but I do find a way to make the packet to go for you. And whether there's an add-on charge for shipping or not, that has to be decided. But that's usually my baseline plan is if I cancel because of weather, it's refundable. If you cancel, but my house or my event place is still accessible, then that's a different kind of story. But that's kind of how I work my weather. And then again, you want to continue working on filling your calendar, and you want to try to fill it from the soonest to the latest. If the only time anybody will absolutely book is the last week of March, then go for it. But again, you want to try to work them into booking sooner. We want to keep our calendars in January filled. And you want to continue to talk about ways that people can do business with you. You want to make sure that they understand it. You may want to consider after the holidays saying celebration is coming. I'd like to review with you how to order online, how you can do business with me, how you can personally enjoy the benefits, and do a review with your customers of how to place orders online, that they can email you the orders. What are all the benefits and the perks? Don't assume that they remember. Don't assume that they know that the celebration brochure is the one that's the freebies and that they're going to read about joining on the front page. They're going to do the same thing you and I do when we first get a catalog. We're going to go right to the accessory section in the back. Okay, that's what I do. But we're going to go right to just looking at the stamp sets and the goodies. We're not going to be reading the fine print, so don't assume it. Take that first couple of days of January or the week after Christmas and go ahead and educate your customers on how they can do business with you. Educate them on how to join online. Where's the steps? Where's the links? If you don't have a DBWS, maybe the 3 months of celebration is a temporary time for you to invest in a DBWS, the Demonstrator Business Website, and take the plunge and see if it's going to make a difference. It'll make it that much easier for at least 3 months for your customers to sign up. If you don't sign up or shop with you, and for you to maintain an events calendar. It will also give you access to some professional graphics and newsletter elements from Stampin' Up. It could be a very worthwhile temporary investment. If at the end of celebration you didn't feel like it was a worthwhile investment, it's a tax deductible business expense and you cancel it and you move on. Okay. I believe in the power of the DBWS and I think it's a valuable investment. So that might be something else for you. So lots of things for you to consider in January as we get ready for this biggest sales period of the year. I'm excited for it. I feel great things are going to happen. I'm excited for what I know my team is going to accomplish, what I know all of you can accomplish. Hopefully I can help you with the goals and the mission that you have for being part of the business building class, guys. So let's all rock this together. Ask your questions below, add comments below. Let me clarify anything for you. And let's really also come to the table in January with a sharing heart. And let's just really open this group up to lots more sharing and engagement here by, posting questions, throwing out ideas, throwing out what works for you and things like that. Your engagement and sharing and coming to the table with that kind of networking is going to elevate that minimal investment that you made into this group exponentially. We are each other's greatest power. Sharing what we love, to me, there's a reason why that's the first line of the statement of the heart, because sharing, again, is what makes us all powerful, guys. So see you back in the classroom, and I look forward to helping you guys really just explode on January 3rd.